You're a summoner? That's the weakest class in the world. The moment Lin Xiao awakened his class, everyone laughed at him. His rival called him trash. No team wanted him. No one believed he could clear a dungeon. Even a normal combat class was considered better than becoming a summoner. But they had no idea. Lin Xiao had awakened a unique S-tier talent. A talent so powerful that nobody else in the world could ever obtain it. Every single day, he gains a brand new S-rank talent. His first summon was just a tiny skeleton. Weak, pathetic, worthless. But after receiving an S-rank talent, it evolved into a terrifying Death Knight. A monster capable of slaughtering entire armies. Then his slime gained the power of endless evolution through devouring. His goblin became a master of legendary weapons. And that was only the beginning. While other people struggled to make one summon stronger, Lin Xiao gave countless S-rank talents to all of his summons. Every day they evolved. Every day they grew stronger. Every day they became more terrifying. Geniuses, prodigies, heroes, none of them could even defeat his weakest summon. Then the abyss descended upon the world. Demon gods appeared. Ancient monsters awakened. Even the gods themselves looked down upon humanity. But when humanity stood on the edge of extinction, one man stepped forward. Behind him stood an army powerful enough to shake heaven and earth. An army of death knights, ancient beasts, divine creatures, and beings powerful enough to rival gods. The world finally realized one terrifying truth. The strongest army was never an army. The strongest kingdom was never a kingdom. It was one summoner, and his summons. This is the story of Lin Xiao, the summoner who turned the weakest class into the strongest existence in the world. Week 1 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 309. A burst of steam erupted, and the train smoothly pulled up alongside the platform. Through the window, Lin Xiao saw hundreds of people waiting for the train. Most noticeable was a square formation composed of more than 50 people. Every one of them had a serious expression, looking like soldiers about to step onto a battlefield to fight. Stepping off the train, Lin Xiao saw a man in a suit approaching with a smile. When the man saw Lin Xiao, the smile on his face suddenly froze, replaced by a look of confusion. "You are the train conductor?" He was very young, too young. He was probably just barely over 20. And he was already the train conductor? "I am." Lin Xiao nodded, then looked at the cargo piled up next to the station. He asked, "Are all the items here? So load them quickly. We are pressed for time." As he spoke, Lin Xiao pulled out the manifest to check it. Sensing the other party's imposing presence, the man didn't dare ask further questions. Seeing the manifest in Lin Xiao's hand, he believed he truly was the train conductor. "I will have people load the train immediately. Is there anything else you need to instruct?" the man asked. "The train was attacked on the way here, and some parts were damaged. Please repair it while the cargo is being loaded. Fix as much as you can." Lin Xiao said. "Understood. I'll send people to repair it right away." The man immediately went to make arrangements. Seeing the man leave, Lin Xiao, whose nerves had been tightly strung, finally let out a sigh of relief. They didn't need to verify my identity. My title as acting train conductor must not be a false one. When the train arrived at the station, he had been worried that if they discovered he was an imposter, they might attack him. But now it seemed that worry was unnecessary. Since the dungeon had assigned him a new identity, no matter how much he differed from the original train conductor, they would accept him as the train conductor. Large trailers transported the supplies into the carriages one by one, and the 50 soldiers also entered the carriages in an orderly fashion. A moment later, a man in a military uniform ran over. Zhang Like. The man saluted Lin Xiao and reported, "Train conductor, all personnel have arrived. You may enter to verify." The opponent's aura was overwhelming, and Lin Xiao felt that this presence could even suppress him. Silently, he activated the abyssal eye and scanned the man. Zhang Like. Level 70. Class, Gunner. Level 70. Gunner. A class 1 haven't heard of. Lin Xiao muttered internally, then nodded to the man. "I understand. I will have someone conduct the roll call." Zhang Like saluted and returned to the carriage. Lin Xiao watched the cargo being loaded into the carriages, occasionally activating the abyssal eye for a quick scan. He found that the packages contained mechanical parts, and they appeared to be quite high-end. Things like fission materials, pulse energy pipelines, ion cannons, laser weapons, and so on. Is Heaven Realm a high-tech world? Lin Xiao pondered whether he could acquire some high-tech equipment there to outfit the ancient mechanical ox, which would further enhance its strength. Just then, Qin Chuan, having finished the roll call, walked over and said, "There are 55 people in total, and their strength is considerable. They are all level 70 and above." "That's strong." Lin Xiao raised an eyebrow. The leader was level 70, and he had assumed that person was the highest level among the 55, but unexpectedly that was merely the baseline. "Yes, I gathered from their conversation that they are going to reinforce Heaven Realm this time." "A war must have broken out there," Qin Chuan said with a serious expression. "Reinforcements? There are only 55 people." Lin Xiao didn't understand what good 55 reinforcements would do. "They are probably all military officers," Qin Chuan said. "But what I wanted to tell you wasn't that. It was about abandoning this mission." "Abandon the mission?" Lin Xiao was startled and couldn't help but look at Qin Chuan. "Yes." Qin Chuan nodded gravely. "And Yuan Kuei and Sikong told me that these war-type missions are very dangerous. They occasionally encountered them in past dungeons, and they barely managed to complete the tasks. But they told me this time is different because we already know the outcome of the war. The train drives toward the abyssal nether, and Heaven Realm is destroyed. So they asked me to tell you to find an opportunity to abandon this mission and leave the dungeon. After all, abandoning the mission won't result in any loss." Listening to Qin Chuan, Lin Xiao's expression wasn't overly serious. He had roughly guessed the fate of Heaven Realm long ago. The train repeatedly traveled and crashed again and again, falling into the abyssal nether. Only this time, they had triggered special conditions that temporarily returned the train, which was originally heading for destruction, back onto the right track. "I know, but I still want to go and see," Lin Xiao said. "Besides, our mission is just to escort the supplies. If a war truly breaks out, we don't need to participate. We can leave at any time." "Is that what you think?" Qin Chuan asked. Lin Xiao nodded. "MHM." Qin Chuan grinned. "What a coincidence, that's what I thought too. This is the first time I've encountered an Abyss Dungeon mission, and if I gave up like this, I wouldn't be satisfied. We are a team, after all, so I came to hear your opinion. Now I know what you intend to do." Lin Xiao was stunned. This guy was actually testing him. "You rascal." Qin Chuan shrugged. "Actually, it wasn't just my idea. This was the result of our discussion. Your level is too low, and you haven't completed your class awakening yet. Continuing onward would be extremely dangerous. Although your strength is formidable, sometimes level determines everything. That's why I specifically came to tell you what we know. Whether you decide to leave or continue, we will respect your choice." After getting the information from the officers, he immediately told Yuan Kuei and Sikong. That was why they used this method to question Lin Xiao. Whether to continue or not, they would respect his decision. "We've made it this far, and the next stop is Heaven Realm. How could we retreat now? The cargo is almost loaded. We should prepare to set off." Lin Xiao glanced at the few remaining large wooden crates, which were filled with grenades and landmines, all powerful ordnance. Boom! Just as Qin Chuan was about to return to the carriage, a massive artillery shell flew in from afar, slamming into the station building and causing a violent explosion. Bandits, the mountain bandits are here. Run! It's the Aiden mountain bandits. Quick! Load the rest of the cargo onto the train. The man in the suit roared, simultaneously sprinting toward Lin Xiao's location at top speed. Seeing Lin Xiao, he immediately shouted, "Hurry and start the train. Their target is the supplies inside. Don't let them steal them. Ha ha ha. Trying to run? Can you escape? We've been waiting here for ages, just for you to finish loading all the cargo." Accompanied by a burst of distant laughter, a massive artillery shell shot toward Lin Xiao's position. The supplies destined for Heaven Realm are now under our control. If you don't want to die, scram. Chapter 310. Bang bang bang. The sound of projectile launchers firing. In an instant, the sky was filled with countless black dots, cannonballs. Each cannonball that landed on the ground exploded into a crater over 10 meters wide. In less than a minute, the entire station was engulfed in a sea of flames, followed by the sound of a charge from not far away. Train conductor, depart immediately. Their target is the train supplies. We absolutely cannot let them succeed. The man in the suit pushed Lin Xiao to board the train, urging them to leave quickly. Looking at the mere 30 to 40 guards, Lin Xiao couldn't help but ask, "Is this all your defensive strength? Where are the others?" "They're all on the battlefield. Don't talk, just get the train moving," the man urged loudly. Lin Xiao shook his head. They came prepared. It's too late to depart now. Indeed, the moment the Arden bandits launched their assault, the bandits who had successfully disguised themselves immediately shed their disguises and rushed towards the train. If they dared to wait for the supplies to be loaded onto the train, they must have had a backup plan. It's over. The man's face turned ashen, his legs gave out, and he collapsed to the ground. Not yet. Just kill them all. Lin Xiao immediately summoned the Snow Girl doll and the nine-tailed celestial fox. For large-scale battles, those two were the most reliable. Lin Xiao, be careful of these workers. Avoid them as much as possible. Qin Chuan immediately summoned his red dragon, which spewed a stream of meteor flames into the sky, instantly clearing most of the incoming cannonballs. These are all NPCs. They're probably already dead. We can't worry about that now. Snow Girl doll, clear the field directly. Lin Xiao had no such qualms. In his opinion, this scene was merely a reenactment of the past. The workers here had probably already been massacred by the bandits, and almost all of them were bandits in disguise. As ice was released, the bandits near the train instantly froze into ice sculptures, then turned into ice powder and scattered with the wind. At this moment, Lin Xiao also heard movement inside the train. Clearly Yuan Kue and Sikong had made their move. Their location was in the engine room. Lin Xiao's actions immediately caught the attention of Cypher, the bandit leader. Is that the train conductor? So young. It seems the celestial realm truly has no one left. Good. I'll deal with you and seize the train. Cypher curled his lips into a cruel smile, casually raised his rifle, and aimed with his right eye. His right eye was different from an ordinary person's. It was a mechanical eye. The hollow of the eye constantly contracted, locking onto Lin Xiao with precision. He called this eye the Eye of Dawn, and it had helped him kill many powerful figures. This time, it would naturally be no exception. Farewell, young train conductor. Bang! As the last word fell, Cypher pulled the trigger, and a special bullet shot out from the muzzle, heading straight for Lin Xiao's head. Clang! Just as the bullet was about to hit, a black scythe suddenly appeared, splitting the bullet in two. Death God Knight. The talent of Eternal Night Guardian allowed him to block one attack from the opponent. If it could block the attack of a war god, this bullet naturally wouldn't be an exception. Lin Xiao looked in the direction the bullet had come from. He had anticipated a sneak attack, which was why he hadn't summoned the Death God Knight, saving it as a counterattack. What a powerful bullet. Although it didn't hit, even I felt the taste of death when it came close. Lin Xiao murmured, then raised a hand and pointed. and the Death God Knight instantly vanished from its spot. It was blocked? Does that knight appear after he's attacked? Cypher was surprised, but it was only a momentary surprise. As a train conductor, it wasn't strange for him to have a means of self-defense. He'd just fire another shot. However, just as he was about to fire the second shot, he saw Lin Xiao point in their direction, and then the Death God Knight vanished from its spot. Not good. Cypher immediately felt a bad premonition and dodged. Slash! The black scythe of the Death God suddenly fell, severing a piece of his clothing. If he hadn't dodged in advance, it wouldn't have been just his clothes that were severed. As Cypher dodged, the long rifle in his hand quickly switched to a shotgun, and he fiercely pulled the trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Hundreds of lead pellets sprayed out, enough to turn a person into a beehive. However, when these bullets hit the Death God Knight, they only made banging sounds, failing to even penetrate its defense. What kind of defense is this? The bullets from this gun can penetrate the defenses of even level 60 monsters. How could it? Cypher was shocked, but he couldn't think much at the moment. The scythe of the Death God struck again, and he could only retreat rapidly to dodge. Cypher glanced at the station's location, a cold smile on his face. Catch the leader first to catch the bandits? Useless. None of you will be able to transport the supplies on this train. He then quickly entered the forest, evading the Death God Knight's pursuit. The station. More bandits surged out. As far as the eye could see, there were people. Even with the Snow Girl doll and the nine-tailed celestial fox launching large-scale attacks, it was still difficult to eliminate them all. These bandits were very cunning. After realizing the power of the Snow Girl doll and the nine-tailed celestial fox, they chose not to confront them directly but instead entered the train cars, attacking from a roundabout route. There are too many people. Is this train destined to be destroyed here? Heading towards the abyssal underworld. Qin Chuan frowned, looking at the endless stream of bandits. Even though their abilities were outstanding and their combat power extraordinary, they still struggled to deal with so many people. Right, where are those soldiers? Why haven't they appeared? Could they all be on the other side? Qin Chuan remembered the non-commissioned officers who boarded the train. They hadn't appeared. If they were also on the bandit side, then there would be no need to fight this battle. With more than 50 non-commissioned officers above level 70, even with 10 lives, they might not be able to win. No. Lin Xiao shook his head. They haven't moved. They're just sitting quietly inside the train. Feeling the state of those non-commissioned officers in the train, they sat there like wooden statues, unmoving, as if they hadn't heard the fighting outside. Could it be that the development of the situation doesn't involve their participation, which is why they're not acting? Lin Xiao frowned, unsure of what was happening. Lin Xiao, drive. I'll cover the rear and catch up with you later. Qin Chuan urged Lin Xiao to depart quickly. With his red dragon, he could easily catch up to the train and wouldn't be left behind. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A roar came from the sky as fighter jets streaked overhead, dropping robots. The robots were small, only about the size of 4 matchboxes put together, but they could automatically seek out enemies, and their explosive power was considerable. Ha 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 ha. It's air support. Kill them all. The bandits laughed loudly. With the robots clearing the way, they were unstoppable. Seeing the deployed robots, Lin Xiao's eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but marvel that these bandits possessed such capabilities. Lin Xiao, let's go. Seeing the opponent's reinforcements again, Qin Chuan's expression darkened. Wait. I see something good. And who said we only have this many people? Lin Xiao smiled slightly. Goblin Emperor summon. 54 goblins of various forms appeared next. Shadow of the Green Capital, Goblin Emperor summon. Copy the previously used skill, inheriting 100% of its ability. Creak. Hell's Gate opens. This was a talent ability of the Death God Knight, but due to the Eternal Night Guardian talent, he could also use some of its abilities. Many people? We have quite a few here too. Chapter 311. In the blink of an eye, the numerical disadvantage Lin Xiao faced was instantly reversed, and swarms of goblins and hell creatures began to fight. Qin Chuan was stunned. It took him a few seconds to realize that the massive pile of creatures before him were all summoned by Lin Xiao. One person is worth 10,000 soldiers. That saying really isn't a joke. This time, he finally experienced the power of a summoner. Previously, although Lin Xiao displayed immense strength, it was due to the power of his summoned beasts, which Qin Chuan considered to be within a reasonable range. But now, a massive summoning event made him truly grasp the summoner's method of combat. Whether fighting solo or against a group, it is an extremely excellent profession. I'll leave this place to you first. I'm gonna check something out. Lin Xiao summoned the nine-tailed celestial fox, which transformed into its fox form and carried Lin Xiao. Where are you going? Seeing Lin Xiao about to leave, Qin Chuan quickly asked. To deal with the bandit leader. Lin Xiao's voice drifted from afar. In the blink of an eye, he flew into the distant mountains and forests. He summoned a slime, then activated the Eye of Supervision, quickly locating Cypher's position. At this moment, he had shaken off the pursuit of the Death God Knight and hidden himself in the mountains. These mountains were his territory, and he was naturally familiar with the terrain, so the Death God Knight couldn't find him immediately. Lin Xiao did not inform the Death God Knight of Cypher's location. Instead, he stopped in midair and used the Eye of Supervision to observe him continuously. Damn it! Why is this Death God Knight so powerful? Can heaven still send someone this strong to serve as a train conductor? Cypher constantly darted through the woods. Slipping into secret passages, he had prepared to evade the Death God Knight's search. But he was completely unaware that his every move was under Lin Xiao's scrutiny. Boss, the people on the train are too fierce. They summoned a bunch of otherworldly creatures from who knows where. There are too many, we might not be able to hold them off. The voice of another bandit came through the communicator. Cypher was startled and looked toward the location of the station. Thunder rolled there. Dark aura lingered, looking like a doomsday purgatory. What's going on? What exactly happened there? Cypher was completely dumbfounded. He had the numerical advantage, yet he couldn't defeat the opponent? Where is the air support? Have you called for air support? Cypher shouted loudly. His mission was to prevent the train's supplies from being transported back to heaven. If the mission failed, his only fate would be death. We called, but they couldn't stop the enemy. Before the sentence was finished, a scream came from the other side of the communicator, followed by silence. Damn it! Cypher fiercely crushed the communicator. In that case, I'll just destroy the train and everyone on it. After speaking, he changed direction and sped toward another mountaintop. In the sky, Lin Xiao watched the enemy's every move, but he couldn't intercept their conversation. Master, I feel like there's something very dangerous hidden on that mountaintop. The nine-tailed celestial fox suddenly spoke. Very dangerous. Lin Xiao was startled, looked in the direction the nine-tailed celestial fox pointed, and noticed that Cypher was also rushing there at extremely high speed. His secret weapon is probably hidden there. Let's go first. Lin Xiao rode the nine-tailed celestial fox and rushed over quickly. Since the enemy could form such a large group, they definitely had a trump card left. Lin Xiao arrived at the mountaintop one step ahead. The Eye of Supervision quickly swept through, revealing a highly precise cannon inside the mountain. This wasn't an ordinary cannon. It was an energy cannon driven by a specific type of energy. He's preparing to activate this thing. If it hits the train probably won't be able to withstand it. Lin Xiao's expression was solemn. He absolutely could not let this energy cannon be activated. Otherwise, this mission would be considered a failure. Just as Lin Xiao was looking for a way to enter, Cypher arrived, so Lin Xiao could only hide first. Nine-tailed celestial fox, go back for now. Lin Xiao recalled the nine-tailed celestial fox into the summoning space. The nine-tailed celestial fox was too large in every way, making it easy for the enemy to spot. Beep, beep, beep. Cypher slapped his palm onto a rock, and a sensor door immediately opened. He quickly entered and rushed toward the location of the energy cannon at top speed. Lin Xiao silently followed behind, scanning the structure. It didn't have much of a high-tech feel, but some areas displayed strong technological features. Boss, what happened? Did you succeed in seizing the train's supplies? Did you get the pulse power energy device? A man who looked like a researcher immediately asked when he saw Cypher arrive. No, I failed. Heaven sent an incredible person to guard the train. I'm going to activate the imaginary energy cannon and destroy the train, Cypher said coldly. The man immediately heard this and loudly protested. No, you said the device on the train was for me to research. If you give it to me, I can 100% replicate the world heritage. Now is not the time to argue. If the supplies on the train are transported to heaven, they might turn the tide of the war. Understand? You promised you would help me get it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to help you research weapons. Cypher's expression instantly grew impatient, followed by a sinister smile. Yes, I said I would help you get it. I never break my word. You know that. I knew it, you definitely wouldn't deceive. Bang! The sound of a shotgun rang out, and the man's body was instantly riddled with holes like a honeycomb. That device will soon turn into a pile of scrap metal and go down to meet you. Consider it me keeping my promise to help you get it. After speaking, Cypher took out a device in the room and then walked toward the deeper parts of the facility. Only after he had gone far away did Lin Xiao emerge from behind. Lin Xiao glanced at the man, who had been shot into a honeycomb, muttered that it was brutal, and then focused his attention on the various instruments and blueprints in the room. Good stuff. Although I can't understand them, I'll take them all. Lin Xiao quickly packed up everything here and took it away. The reason he personally chased Cypher was for these technological products, hoping to let the ancient mechanical ox create some high-end mechanical constructs. After quickly emptying the place, Lin Xiao chased after him again. He's right up ahead. Just as Lin Xiao was about to enter, Cypher suddenly appeared. His face was twisted and full of rage. He spoke in a deep voice. I didn't expect you to chase me all the way here. You truly have a death wish. Boom, boom, boom. Several mechanical constructs appeared from one side, and the cold machinery blocked Lin Xiao's path. Out there, it would have been difficult to kill you, but in here, you only have a dead end. Cypher gave a cold smile and immediately issued the attack order. Lin Xiao didn't panic at the sight. He spoke calmly. The fact that I could track you here means I've been monitoring you. Did you really think I wouldn't be prepared? The Death God Knight instantly appeared. Summoner skill, follow. He had already seen Cypher waiting for him here, but since the destination had been reached, there was no need to keep tracking him. Impossible! I clearly shook him off. Cypher's expression changed. He was well aware of the Death God Knight's power. Lin Xiao didn't waste words, coldly uttering a single syllable. Kill! Chapter 312, Aiden Station. The goblin army and hell creatures completely controlled the situation, almost annihilating the bandits. What's going on? How can there be so many goblins and hell creatures? And Yuan Kue, after dealing with the bandits inside the train, came out to help and witnessed a shocking scene. Hundreds of goblins were besieging the attacking bandits. They charged, they summoned heavenly lightning, they cast spells. These goblins all possessed different abilities. They weren't just foolishly charging. As for the hell creatures, they didn't have so many tricks. It was just one word. Kill. Kill all enemies in sight. These were all summoned by Lin Xiao. Otherwise, we really wouldn't have been able to stop these bandits' attack, Qin Chuan explained. All summoned by Lin Xiao? And Yuan Kue was shocked. I was wondering why the bandits in the carriage were getting fewer and fewer. So he summoned a large army of goblins and these hell creatures. TSK, TSK, TSK. One person against 10,000 troops is truly no joke. This summoning ability is too powerful. Isn't it? And Yuan Kue exclaimed, and soon realized Lin Xiao wasn't here. He turned and asked, Where's Lin Xiao then? Where did he go? He went to pursue the bandit leader. What? Went to pursue the bandit leader? Why didn't you stop him? Given the scale of these bandits, their leader couldn't be weak. Wasn't he afraid of falling into a trap by going after him alone? Just then, a rumbling roar caught in Yuan Kue and Qin Chuan's attention. The two looked in that direction and saw a mountain splitting in half, with a pitch-black cannon barrel extending out from within. Even from a great distance, they could strongly feel the destructive intent emanating from this cannon barrel. If this thing fires a shot, the train will probably be blown to pieces, and Yuan Kuei said, shocked. Not probably, it definitely will. Qin Chuan's face immediately turned solemn, and he quickly called his red dragon back. I'll go with you. And Yuan Kuei naturally wouldn't let Qin Chuan take this risk alone. All right. Qin Chuan didn't refuse. Just as he was about to tell Yuan Kuei to get on the dragon, a black crescent moon suddenly swept out from the direction of the cannon barrel mountain. They recognized whose aura this was. Lin Xiao's death god knight. Lin Xiao is stopping him, let's go. Qin Chuan didn't reply, immediately riding the red dragon and flying over. As they got closer, they realized the cannon barrel was even larger than they had expected, making them feel as insignificant as ants. Mid-flight, the cannon barrel suddenly moved upwards, beginning to accumulate energy. Not good. And Yuan Kuei's expression changed. With a spread of his palm, four elements quickly fused together, directly blasting towards the energy-accumulating cannon barrel. Boom! The magic formed by the fusion of four elements only left a black spot on the cannon barrel, failing to shake it in the slightest. This thing is so strong? And Yuan Kuei was shocked. At this moment, the red dragon raised its body, and terrifying activity, wrapped in mental power, surged forth, carving a path of crimson starlight in mid-air. The strength of this cannon barrel is too high. I don't know what kind of material it's forged from. Even my red dragon's flames can't burn it down. Qin Chuan was shocked. He had received the star god's disdain and passed the trial given by him, gaining a small amount of star god power, yet he couldn't cause any damage to the cannon barrel before him. Wasn't this a bit too outrageous? Oh no, it's too late. The cannon muzzle was fully charged, and the next second, a deafening roar erupted. Boom! A terrifying beam of light shot out, missing the train but hitting the sea 100 kilometers away, instantly stirring up monstrous waves. This power was enough to penetrate an entire island. What kind of weapon is this? It's too terrifying. Qin Chuan and Yuan Kuei were both stunned. They had never seen a weapon with such terrifying power. Even an 80th level expert would probably be blasted to smithereens. After being shocked for over 10 seconds, the two finally reacted and quickly rushed towards the mountaintop. Upon arriving, they saw a scene of devastation, with mechanical fragments everywhere. Lin Xiao was at the control panel, tinkering with something. Lin Xiao. Qin Chuan called out to him. Oh, you guys are here. You saw the power of the imaginary energy cannon. It's truly terrifying, Lin Xiao exclaimed. Qin Chuan and Yuan Kuei were startled, the latter asking, that shot just now, you fired it? Yeah, I wanted to test how powerful this cannon was. I adjusted the angle so it wouldn't affect the train, but the cannon's power was even greater than I expected, and it still caused a bit of an impact. Lin Xiao was the train captain and could perceive its condition. The aftershocks generated by the imaginary energy cannon still caused some damage to the train's body. And Yuan Kuei was speechless. Could something so terrifying be tested so casually? Qin Chuan, despite his shock, was also very curious about this cannon. Do you think we can move this thing back to our place? If we place it on the border, it could at least deter a large number of abyss monsters. Qin Chuan asked. You want to move this cannon back? And Yuan Kuei's eyes widened. Then he looked at the terrifying energy cannon and said, Indeed, if we could move it back, it would be a strong deterrent against the abyss. Hearing their thoughts, Lin Xiao shook his head. No, this cannon is already ruined. It's ruined. It's ruined means broken/useless. Useless? It can't be that it can only fire once, right? And Yuan Kuei immediately felt speechless. Only once and it's useless? That's too poor quality. It's not that it's useless after one shot. It's that the imaginary energy cannon only had one shot left, Lin Xiao explained. This cannon is a creation of the celestial realm, supposedly used to deal with prehistoric creatures. A giant turtle with a volcano on its back that could breathe fire. He learned this information from Cypher, along with most of the history and relevant data about the imaginary energy cannon. Celestial realm creation, Qin Chuan exclaimed. It's hard to imagine that the celestial realm could create such a powerful cannon. And Yuan Kuei, I'm starting to look forward to it. Although the celestial realm has many mechanical creations, imaginary energy cannons like this one are not common, because the manufacturing process has long been lost. The reason there's still one here is that Cypher, the bandit leader, accidentally obtained the core parts, then assembled them, and captured many researchers to replicate the required energy. Before killing Cypher, he had extracted a lot of information about Scorpio from him. After all, he was a bandit. It was impossible for him to have much willpower. That's too bad. And Yun Kuei shook his head. Not necessarily, Qin Chuan said. Since the celestial realm can create energy cannons of such power, their other weapons might not be weak either. We can learn or take some data back and try to make some ourselves. Chapter 313. After the cargo was loaded, the train departed again. Although it was affected, it could still run and wouldn't break down. Inside the mobile room, Lin Xiao was studying the collected data. Of course, Qin Chuan and the other two were also studying it with him, as there was still some distance to the heavenly realm. Whether they could understand it or not was another matter. The ancient mechanical ox has the tinder cube, and I still have some universal parts. Maybe I can create some mechanical constructs based on the blueprints. Lin Xiao pondered. Universal parts alone were definitely not enough, but while chasing Cypher, he killed the mechanical constructs Cypher made. Besides getting some mechanical part rewards, he also took their bodies with him. After all, their bodies themselves were excellent parts. Let the ancient mechanical ox try to assemble new machinery. If anything is missing, use universal parts to supplement it. Lin Xiao felt this was a good idea and immediately took some mechanical parts to the ancient mechanical ox's summoning space, letting him try to create and assemble them. After giving instructions, Lin Xiao did not stay to observe. His consciousness connected with the Tower of Heaven, and he saw Celia lying bored on the ground, seemingly about to be covered in cobwebs. You're here. Have you thought it through? My ability won't be worse than facing that guy. Choosing me is definitely the right choice. Celia excitedly stood up. There was nothing to see here, so Lin Xiao's appearance naturally made her excited. You're overthinking it. I just have some questions for you. Humph. You only think of me when you have problems, you scumbag. Celia rolled her eyes at Lin Xiao, then flopped back down onto the ground. Then never mind. Lin Xiao was about to leave. Wait a minute, I didn't say I wouldn't answer. You ask first, and then we'll see if I answer. Celia quickly called out to Lin Xiao. She was too bored here, so having someone to talk to was good. If she could still release clones to the various floors of the Tower of Heaven, she wouldn't be so bored. But that ability had been sealed, and she could only stay here, unable to go anywhere. Lin Xiao's lips curved slightly, looking as if he could easily manipulate her. He then asked, Do you know about the heavenly realm? Heavenly realm? I don't know. ? Lin Xiao was surprised. He thought Celia would know. He asked again, Are you a deity? You should know something about a place like the heavenly realm, right? Celia rolled her eyes at Lin Xiao. Deities aren't omnipotent. The universe is so vast, and the heavenly realm you're talking about might just be a small, obscure force. How could I possibly know about it? Lin Xiao thought about it and felt that what she said was true. His question was too broad. After some thought, he asked again, That place specializes in mechanical constructs like imaginary energy cannon. Imaginary energy cannon? Celia was startled. So that place is called the heavenly realm. Lin Xiao's eyes lit up. You know? I don't know. Lin Xiao was speechless. Didn't you know about the imaginary energy cannon? Celia explained, I know about it, but I don't know anything about a heavenly realm. If the place I know about is called the heavenly realm, then the heavenly realm should have been destroyed long ago. The reason I know about the imaginary energy cannon is that I heard this kind of energy cannon once annihilated an ancient beast in the universe with a single strike, so it left a deep impression. But the force that possessed the imaginary energy cannon, which you call the heavenly realm, was destroyed long ago. It must have been a devastating war. After speaking, she seemed to realize something and looked at Lin Xiao. Did you enter a dungeon related to the heavenly realm and see an imaginary energy cannon? Without waiting for Lin Xiao's reply, she answered her own question. It must be. Otherwise, you wouldn't know about something like the imaginary energy cannon. TSK, TSK, TSK. That's truly astonishing. The Holy Temple actually hid a large part of the heavenly realm. Lin Xiao looked at Celia and knew that she knew very little about the heavenly realm, so there was no need to ask further. Just as he was about to leave again, Celia called out to him once more. Are you just going to leave like that? Don't you want to know more? Lin Xiao shrugged. You don't know anything? What's there to know? There is. For example, we could talk about that war or how you could choose me. We could talk about these things. Not interested. With that, Lin Xiao's consciousness disconnected itself from the Tower of Heaven. Opening his eyes, he saw that Qin Chuan and the others had already sorted and organized all the obtained data, according to their understanding. After looking at these blueprints, I was greatly shocked. These mechanical constructs are far more powerful than ours. And Yuan Kuei couldn't help but exclaim, yes, if we could build them, it would greatly reduce the pressure of dealing with the abyss, but we don't know how many we can build. Sikong agreed with Yuan Kuei's idea. Among these blueprints were many mechanical weapons they had never seen before, which made his eyes light up. Once the goods are delivered, our mission will be complete. You can stay if you wish, but if the situation turns bad, leave immediately, Lin Xiao said. The time node of this heavenly realm dungeon was when it was on the verge of destruction. According to the original development, the heavenly realm would not have received these supplies and would have been destroyed. But now that this batch of supplies was about to arrive, he was unsure what variables would occur. However, it was certain that even if the heavenly realm managed a miraculous comeback with these supplies, it couldn't change its already doomed fate of destruction. Because the heavenly realm no longer existed. Screech. Boom! Piercing roars echoed in the sky, followed by a series of cannon explosions around the train, causing the train to vibrate violently. Attack! Someone was attacking them. We should be near the heavenly realm. The enemies have noticed this train and are attacking us. Quick! Prepare for battle! And Yuan Kuei reacted very quickly, transforming into a gust of wind and appearing outside the train. Lin Xiao didn't dare to delay either and immediately went to the train's roof, with Qin Chuan and Sikong following close behind. Outside the train, 5 figures floated in midair, loading special cannons and aiming at the train. Energy beams mixed with cannonballs shot towards them, and Yuan Kuei quickly moved, blocking all attacks. Damn it! How did this train get here? Those guys are trash. They can't even stop a train. Hurry up and attack. We absolutely cannot let this train reach the heavenly realm, or we'll be in danger. I've already reported the situation here. Slow down the train's speed and wait for reinforcements. While they were formulating their battle plan, the sky suddenly changed color, followed by strong winds. It was Yuan Kuei making his move. No reason was needed, only the knowledge that the opposing side was their enemy. There are still so many alive? Those guys are really trash. Let's deal with them first. See Chapter 314. The 5 individuals acted with ruthlessness and decisiveness. The mechanisms on their armaments immediately aimed at Qin Chuan and the others, and energy cannons instantly poured down. Roar! The red dragon roared to the sky. A starlight flame shot out, instantly engulfing the energy cannons, and the flames rushed straight towards the 5 individuals. It's a dragon! How can such a dangerous creature exist here? The 5 were shocked. Without time to think, they quickly dodged. If they were hit by that flame, it was estimated that not even a speck would remain. Just as they scattered to dodge, a gale swept in, transforming into countless sharp blades. It's a mage! Deal with him first. The captain of the 5-person team immediately gave the order. However, screams were his only reply. What? These wind blades can actually cut our bodies. The squad leader was shocked. Amidst his shock, a scorching heat assaulted him. Before he could react, he was hit in the face by a fireball, instantly losing consciousness and falling onto the train, where he was crushed into a bloody pulp. We've already entered their combat zone. I just don't know if we can arrive smoothly, Sikong said with a solemn expression. It's difficult. Lin Xiao wasn't optimistic, saying, judging from the enemy's reaction, the supplies on the train are very important to the heavenly realm. Yet, for such crucial supplies, the heavenly realm can't even guarantee safe transport. Their reinforcements are probably arriving soon. Unfortunately, this is the train's maximum speed, so there's no way to shake them off. The train's speed was already at its maximum, and the route was extremely fixed, making it almost impossible to hide. So they could only face the enemies directly and protect the supplies on the train from being destroyed. No sooner had he finished speaking than numerous black dots appeared in the distance, rushing towards Lin Xiao's train with waves of killing intent. The leading man rode a demon dragon, followed by at least 100 people, all riding unknown flying creatures. They came really fast. Is the heavenly realm's strength too weak? It feels like they've been shot full of holes. And Yuan Kuei looked at the distant enemies and couldn't help but complain. The flame in his left hand intertwined with the small hurricane, rapidly fusing. Blaze of wind. He violently waved his left hand, and the flames shot out, growing with the wind, forming a magnificent wall of fire in midair. Whoosh! The leading man's gaze was sharp. Looking at the approaching flames, he patted the demon dragon beneath him, and it understood, immediately spewing out a demonic flame to neutralize them. Are you the guardians and the train conductor escorting this train? My name is Valka. Abandon the train, give up resistance, and I will allow you to leave here. Otherwise, your only fate is death. Valka's booming voice came from afar. He was clad in armor, holding a pitch-black long spear, and his cape rustled behind him, looking extremely domineering and mighty. Only level 70? Seems beatable. And Yuan Kuei saw the opponent's domineering and arrogant demeanor and thought he would be incredibly strong, but he was only level 70. He's just the vanguard, Lin Xiao reminded him. If even the vanguard was level 70, then those above him would be even stronger. I see that there are quite a few enemies, but how many of your goblin army can fly? And Yuan Kuei asked. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes at him. How could goblins fly? As for hell creatures, they appear randomly and not many of them can fly. Well, that's a bit of a headache. And Yuan Kuei scratched his head. The four were discussing how to deal with the enemies before them, with no intention of responding to Valka. They all wanted to stall for a while. At the train's speed, even a dozen seconds would allow them to cover a considerable distance. No answer? Then I can only grant you death. Valka raised the long spear in his hand, and power quickly gathered. Wait, we're still discussing. Give us some more time. There's someone who disagrees, and I'm trying to persuade him. And Yuan Kuei quickly said, Who disagrees? I'll kill him. Valka's fierce gaze swept over Lin Xiao and the other three. No, give me some time. I can definitely persuade him. And Yuan Kuei quickly said, All right, I'll give you another 30 seconds. With that, Valka lowered the long spear in his hand. And Yuan Kuei blinked, very surprised by this outcome. He looked at Lin Xiao and the other two. This guy is quite nice. Probably a greenhorn, Sikong said indifferently. A bit slow, but that's good. I still have a lot of consumables here. I'll share some with you. I don't know what kind of battle we'll encounter next. Lin Xiao took out various consumables and distributed them to Qin Chuan and the other two. Some were from Remy, and many were opened from treasure chests. Recovery potions, amplification potions, purification potions. Almost everything was there. He rarely used these consumables in battle. Moreover, his own equipment had recovery abilities and even resurrection effects. As for amplification, the lucky spirit was pretty much enough. The top-tier players always have a lot of good stuff, and Yuan Kuei didn't stand on ceremony and accepted them directly. After Qin Chuan and Sikong thanked him, they put the consumables given by Lin Xiao into their bags. At this moment, Valka also clearly saw their actions, and even if he was foolish, he understood what was happening. "You scoundrels! How dare you deceive me? I think you're looking for death." The pitch-black long spear in his hand was raised again. Power continuously gathered, and at the same time, he gave orders to the soldiers behind him. "Kill them!" The surging crowd immediately charged forward. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. "Ice and snow domain." The effect of the elemental fusion set immediately activated. The sky instantly became overcast, and then a large amount of wind and snow erupted. Then, the Snow Girl doll appeared, and terrifying frost power was rapidly released, further strengthening the ice and snow domain released by Lin Xiao. With the raging blizzard, the soldiers riding the demonic beasts were affected, their bodies gradually covered by ice and snow, and then frozen. "Break this domain!" The demon dragon roared to the sky, spewing terrifying demonic flames upwards, intending to shatter the ice and snow domain. The scorching demonic flames melted the ice and snow, turning them into raindrops that fell. But in the next second, the melted ice and snow recondensed, turning into even more solid hailstones that smashed towards the soldiers. Although the demonic flames were terrifying, compared to the Snow Girl doll's ice and snow power, they were still quite inferior. "What?" Valka's expression changed drastically. His demon dragon was actually no match for the opponent's little girl. At this moment, he couldn't care less. The power in his long spear had finished gathering, and he immediately launched an attack. "Let the train be buried with you." Demon Dragon Spear. With a throw of the spear, terrifying power tore through space, striking directly at Lin Xiao and the others. Sikong stepped forward, the pages of his book rapidly flipping, and then a magic spell flew out, transforming into a golden shield. "Golden Guardian." Clang! The pitch-black long spear struck the golden shield, emitting a violent roar. Terrifying energy fluctuations spread in all directions, but the golden shield remained motionless, not even suffering the slightest damage. What kind of move is this?" Valka was stunned. His full power strike had actually been blocked by the opponent. Looking at Valka's shocked expression, Sikong couldn't help but shake his head. "You wasted one of my uses. It seems your attack isn't that great." Chapter 315. While Valka was still in shock, and Yuankue had already made his move, unleashing 3 fused spells that exploded into a brilliant firework in the sky. Qin Chuan followed closely, riding his red dragon to the enemy's front, his star sword immediately slashing out, accompanied by flashes of starlight. As for Lin Xiao, he dealt with the remaining enemies. With 3 powerful figures present, it was best to leave these level 70 enemies to them. Although he could also deal with them, killing them wouldn't be easy. Under the effect of the ice and snow domain, their flying ability was greatly reduced. They could barely maintain balance. Against the Snow Girl doll in mid-air, they were almost no match. Ice Void Storm. A forbidden curse of ice fell, instantly decimating most of the enemy forces, turning them into giant ice sculptures that crashed to the ground. Some accidentally landed next to the train, directly shattering into powder. "Congratulations! You have leveled up to level 55. After killing most of the enemies, the level-up notification sounded in his ear. "Level 55. It seems I can now learn the Flower Fairy Summoning Skill Book." Lin Xiao remembered the Summoner Skill Book still in his backpack. It was a plant-type summoned beast. "Perhaps I can also create a plant army. That way, I won't fear any number of enemies," Lin Xiao thought. The Goblin Emperor could summon goblin soldiers, but their numbers were limited, and they primarily followed an elite path. But the Flower Fairy was different. She could scatter beans to form soldiers, overwhelming the enemy with a massive plant army. This was just Lin Xiao's current idea. It wasn't too late to start preparing after dealing with the current enemies. Roar! Just then, a dragon's roar came from not far away. Lin Xiao looked over and saw Valka's demon dragon being incinerated by flames, slowly burning to ashes. And its master had long since been blasted into dust by an Yuankue's magic. So fast. Lin Xiao hadn't expected Qin Chuan's group to finish the battle so quickly. He immediately had the Snow Girl doll swiftly clear the battlefield, then return to his side. After the demon dragon burned to ashes and drifted away with the wind, Qin Chuan returned to the train and said, "When I was in the sky just now, I saw many people rushing towards this train. We need to prepare for battle." Sikong nodded, asking curiously, "The enemies seem very wary of the supplies on the train. What exactly is loaded inside?" "I heard they are parts for assembling the World Heritage," Lin Xiao said. This was something he had heard from Cypher. As for what the World Heritage was, he wasn't sure. Perhaps he could ask Celia. Qin Chuan looked up into the distance, his expression slightly solemn, and said, "The enemies are here again. This time, there seem to be two above level 70 with considerable strength. As long as they're not level 80, it's fine." And Yuan Kuei began to prepare his magic. Among the four of them, the highest level was only 65, so dealing with level 70 enemies was not a problem. But if it went up to level 80, such a gap couldn't be easily bridged. Probably not. The mission we're doing now is considered a native dungeon. There won't be such outrageous level 80 enemies. Even if there were, there should be corresponding NPCs on our side. Sikong said indifferently. He had encountered such a situation before when entering an abyss dungeon. At this moment, Lin Xiao asked curiously, "If level 80 enemies really appear, and a corresponding NPC also appears on our side, what if the other side insists on killing us?" And Yuan Kuei shrugged, answering for Sikong, "Then you can only rely on your own strength to survive. After all, an abyss dungeon will try its best to maintain a balance of power. But if the other side insists on killing you, you can only rely on yourself to survive." Lin Xiao. It seems that even the appearance of an equivalent NPC cannot guarantee one's safety. They're here. They're demonic insects. They're probably trying to wear us down. Qin Chuan saw dense black insects flying towards them, each with a sharp venomous stinger at its tail. Even if one wasn't killed by a sting, the venom would corrode them. With the ice and snow domain, it shouldn't be a big problem. But what I'm more concerned about is that the ghost mist still seems to be chasing us, Lin Xiao said. Yes, the ghost mist was still there, slowly approaching them. And Yuan Kuei and the other two paused, looking at Lin Xiao. "The ghost mist is still there?" Lin Xiao nodded. "It's still there, but it's much fainter, and the speed of its devouring/engulfing, is tens of times slower than before." Qin Chuan pondered for a moment and explained, "It's probably due to the dungeon mechanism, so we probably don't have much time left. We won't be able to see what this celestial realm looks like, even though war is raging right now." Sikong. "What a pity." Lin Xiao stroked his chin, looking at the slowly approaching ghost mist and calculating the time it would take for the train to reach the celestial realm station. He said, "There's still time. If the train continues at this speed without interference, we should still have 2 hours to stay in the celestial realm." However, Lin Xiao paused, looking at the huge dark shadow appearing in the distance. "I'm afraid the enemy won't let us have our way. Under the protection of the ice and snow domain and the continuous release of frost power by the Snow Girl doll, those venomous insects were frozen into hail before they could even get close to the train. Precisely because of this, the enemy dispatched stronger combat power, a warship, a massive Zerg warship with a hideous appearance. Is the celestial realm fighting against the Zerg? Were those 5 creatures just now also Zerg?" Sikong wondered. "The Zerg? Huh? This race is quite powerful. They are all very formidable existences." And Yuan Kuei said, impressed. Qin Chuan was curious. "How do you know? Haven't you played games or watched sci-fi? The Zerg are all top-tier powerful." "Rarely. Stop chatting about irrelevant things. The enemy is attacking." Sikong immediately told everyone to get ready. Lin Xiao also summoned his 9-tailed celestial fox and slime. The Zerg typically rely on overwhelming numbers. To deal with them, one naturally needs wide-area offensive methods. Here it comes. It's poison mist. It has strong corrosive properties and spirit-disrupting effects. Lin Xiao saw the green gas sprayed from the Zerg warship, and his abyssal eye immediately provided relevant information. And Yuan Kuei muttered a spell, fusing magic into a giant 3-attribute whirlwind that immediately dispersed the approaching poison mist. Just then, the Zerg warship's hangar opened, and a massive swarm of insects flew out, dense and covering the sky, filling the entire expanse in the blink of an eye. Wow, is this the Zerg's combat style? Isn't it a bit too crude? And Yuan Kuei looked up, exclaiming. Lin Xiao was also deeply shocked. They almost completely covered the sky as far as their eyes could see. The number was at least 100,000. But, looking at the dense swarm of insects, Lin Xiao's mouth curved slightly. So many of them. They're just piling up HP for me.